Bell here, and today we are going to be reading, I guess some facts. I don't really know. I guess I'm just kind of doing random shit for my channel. I haven't actually made a video in quite a while, mainly because there's been a lot going on. But today, as you read by the title, I thought I would tell you some 25 amazing facts about left-handed people. If y'all don't know, I am left-handed. I'm kind of really the only one. Me and a couple other people from my mom's side of the family. I think some on my dad's side of the family. I'm not too sure. I'm not close with my dad's side of the family. I'm not close with either side. But, some people are left-handed, and that's me. And I think my grandmothers, both my grandmothers, and I think two of my aunts that are left-handed. But they're also kind of ambidextrous. So they kind of use both. I'm kind of mostly left-handed in most things. Sometimes I use my right hand for things, but not as much as my left. So, yeah, let's just get right into it. One really interesting factoid that I picked up from a scientist who believed that left-handed people tend to be more independent as a result of having to adapt to the world, which is largely built for right-handed individuals. Here are a few more fascinating left-handed people facts. Number 1. They make up roughly 12% of the population. On average, 12% of the world is left-handed, 87% of the world is right-handed, and only 1% of the world are ambidextrous. However, the percent of the lefties worldwide is slowly creeping up, and being left-handed is becoming more socially accepted. Believe it or not, to this day, some countries still force their children to learn to write with their right hand. For example, in the 1860s, when a left-handed person was essentially seen in being in league with the devil, it is estimated that as little as 2% of the population was left-handed. The current 12% also varies by country and gender. Number 2, they are most likely to have allergies. In a research book, Cerebral Dominance, the Biological Foundation, a study found that left-handed people were 11 times more likely to suffer from allergies than right-handed folks. The research also found that left-handers were 2.5 times more likely to suffer in autoimmune disorders. For example, ulcerative colitis and rheumatoid arthritis. I'm not really sure about that one because, I'm lactose intolerant and I have heartburn, but that's for other reasons, not genetically. So, I don't know. Number 3, they're more prone to migraines. It says, in the same scientific study described above, it is also discovered that left-handed people are roughly twice as likely to experience migraines when compared to right-handed people. I don't get migraines much. I did have it once I had, COVID, so that was fucking awful. I don't get migraines much, so that's a good thing, thankfully. Number 4, they're most likely to suffer from sleep deprivation. It turns out that being left-handed may also potentially ruin the quality of slumber that you experience. Periodic limb movement disorder is a condition where your limbs move involuntarily during sleep. In a 2011 study, assessment of periodic limb movement in right-handed versus left-handed patients, it was found that 69% of the right-handed participants and bilateral limb movements compared to a whopping 94% of left-handed patients. So if you're kicking your partner in bed while you're asleep, now you know why. Now this one is definitely true because I know for a fact that sometimes when I fall asleep, my limbs move automatically and wakes me up. I'm also a very light sleeper, and I have insomnia, so that also doesn't help with anything. Number 5, left-handed people use the right side of the brain the most. The brain is cross-wired, meaning that the right side controls the left side of the body and vice versa. Hence, well knowing the saying, only left-handed people use their right minds, the right-hand side of the brain is thought to coordinate the left side of the body and controls tasks that are with the arts and creativity. If you've seen in my last video that talks about my fascination with mental health, I explained more of the left side brain and the right side of the functions of the brain. But if you didn't watch the video, if you don't remember, if you don't want to watch me rant on about why I find shit fascinating, basically the left side of the brain functions right hand control, numbers skills, written skills, science and math, reasoning, language, logic, and analytic thought. And the right brain is left-hand control, 3D perception, music awareness, hostelic thought, insight and intuition, imagination, creativity, and art awareness. Which I also think is true because I've been told that I'm mostly right-brained more than anything because of my creativity with writing and stuff. However, a recent 2018 study, unilateral 3D arm movement kinematics are encoded in ipsilateral human cortex at Washington University has suggested that tasks may be shared more equally than previous thought. And it's important to note that the researchers have stated that since the study involved only 4 patients, there's a lot more research to be carried out before we can truly understand the relationship between the mind and the body. Number 6, most likely to be alcoholics. In 1973 paper, psychologist Paul Bakken, left-handedness and alcoholism, noted that a higher than expected number of patients in alcoholism were left-handed. However, in 2011, a study of Dr. Kevin Denny, handedness and drinking behavior, looking at 25,000 people from 12 different countries, found that being a lefty did not result in excessive drinking later in life. What it did suggest was that left-handed people are more prone to drink at moderate levels than a right-handed person. So the common idea that lefties are more likely to be alcoholics might be a bit of a stretch. Not true, because I don't drink, and I promised myself I would never ever drink due to trauma. So yeah, and it doesn't even taste good. It tastes like acid. So. Number 7, are left-handed people smarter? This is a question, but there's also kind of an explanation. This one varies depending on how dated your sources. One 2007 study, effective handedness and intelligence level students, shows that lefties are more likely to have higher IQs. However, a 2010 study, the relationship between hand preference, hand performance, and general cognitive ability suggests the exact opposite. So which is it? To settle the debate, 2 researchers from the University of Athens in Greece compiled the data from several individuals studying collate data of much larger sample size. The result of the research showed that right-handed people are smarter on average, but only marginally so. Assuming that average left-handers have an IQ of 100, the average right-handed would be at 101.5. So the current belief is that differences in intelligence between lefties and righties is so small and negligible. An interesting left-handed statistics in the Mensa claims that 20% of the members are lefties, a much higher number than you'd expect. I cannot read. There's a bunch of big words, and my brain doesn't compute those well, so I apologize. Number 8, they tend to reach puberty 4 to 5 months before right-handers. This is another fact about left-handed people widely quoted over the internet. However, I can find no information of studies that back this idea up, so we'll take it with a pinch of salt. If you were the solace, yeah, sorry, I blinked out. Not sure about this one. They're also not too sure about this one either, so that's why there's not really much information about it. Number 9, most likely to suffer language problems. A 2009 study from Finland, mixed-handedness and linked into mental health problems in children and adolescents, which looks at a problem of language in children that showed that mixed-handed children had a greater likelihood of experiencing language and scholastic issues with their persistence into adulthood. Likewise, a 1993 study from Norway, dyslexia, hard-handedness, and immune disorders, which looked at 734 children and found a significant association between dyslexia and left-handedness. I don't suffer language problems. I can read just fine. So, yeah. Number 10, they're most likely to be male. According to a 2008 study, 6 differences in left-handedness, a meta-analysis of 144 studies, 23% of men are most likely to be left-handed. The study compiled the data from 144 individual studies, including a sample size of almost 2 million participants, so generally accepted to be statistically relevant. Most of my family that are left-handed are females, so... Number 11, they're better at multitasking. Data collected in 2008 by an Illinois research consortium showed that left-handed and right-handed people deal with task and memory performance in different ways. Experiments showed that when given 2 tasks to complete simultaneously, southpaw participants performed best. This is because right-handed people tend to solve problems by breaking them down into parts and analyzing them each piece at a time, whereas left-handed people tend to look at the problems as a whole and use pattern matching to try and solve. which is true. I multitask constantly. Number 12. Live on average 9 years less than righties. You can breathe a sigh of relief as this left-handed statistic war was disapproved, although it's still widespread on the internet. A flawed 1980 study which looked at 1,000 decreased people from California showed that the average that right-handed subjects died was 75, whereas lefties it was just 66. The problem here being that the study assumed that the numbers of left-handed people remained static over time. Many people born early in the 1900s were forced to write right-handed, so they were not being identified as being left-handed at death. As a result, the finding from this study has been largely discredited. However, there has been some evidence that suggests that left-handers are more likely to have minor accidents than right-handed counterparts, but we're still not quite sure for that one. Number 13. 39% are more likely to be homosexual. Don't take this out of context, please. I'm just reading what the article says. In 2000 the 2000 study Sexual Orientation and Handedness in Men and Women, a meta-analysis, compared the rates of non-right-handedness in 6,987 homosexuals and 16,423 heterosexual participants. It was found that homosexual participants had 39% greater odds of being a non-right-handed. In keeping with the sexuality theme, in 2013, a study of biological markers of asexuality, handedness, birth order, and finger length ratios in self-identified asexual men and women found that asexual participants were roughly 2.5 more times likely to be left-handed. Number 14, they recover from strokes faster. For the majority of the population, the left side of the brain is largely in control of the language function. This is the reason why most strokes are brain injuries which occurred on the left side, which have adverse effect on languages. 95% of the right-handed people have left brain dominance when it comes to language control, whereas this drops to 70% for lefties. This means that after a stroke, lefties are more likely to be faster to recover language ability. Definitely one of the facts about lefties that is about left-handed people that is definitely a plus. So for the next category, because I guess there's only 14 facts, there's a lot of things together. There's going to be some more facts and trivia, so we're just going to read those. We'll just go number 15, I guess, or number 1. I don't know, because it says number 1, but left-handed pens are a thing. Who knew? They really do exist. Various designs exist, but the pens linked here have a special hook tip to allow lefties to easily see what they're drawing. The design is also to keep the fingers further away from the tip, which is when coupled with quick drying ink means there's less chance of smudging. Personally, I've never tried one, but let me know what you think. I should probably buy one of these just to see, because that would be pretty cool. I have such a hard time when it comes to drawing or writing, because if it's with a pen, I'm gonna we all have that. If you're left-handed and you just have like marker or pen, just crease this fucking ink all over. Number 16. They have an advantage in certain sports. Lefties make especially good baseball players, tennis players, swimmers, boxers, and fencers. Almost 40% of the current top tennis players are lefties. Essentially, with excel at non-team based sports where players face off one-on-one. This is because right-handed players are used to mainly playing against another right-handed player and not lefties. Did you know that tennis champion Rafael Nadal is actually right-handed but learned to play lefty to give himself an advantage? It certainly seemed to have worked out nicely for the Spaniard. 17. International Left-Handed Day is August 13th. Every year on August 13th, we Southpaws get our very own day to celebrate our own uniqueness. The day is supposed to help promote awareness to the problems that we are experiencing largely with the right-handed world. I forgot the number. We'll just go number 4. We mainly draw figures facing to the right. According to a 2014 study, what affects facing direction in human facial profile drawings, a meta-analytic inquiry Left-handed people mainly draw characters facing to the right, and right-handed people mainly draw people facing to the left. I don't know. I don't draw faces. I'm kind of looking at my Pokemon. Left-handed people draw faces to the right. Most of them are to the right. Oh no, I didn't even realize that. Well, most are to the left. I definitely do see that most of them are a lot harder when drawing to the left. So, makes sense. Number 5. Are left-handed people more creative? It's true. A 2007 study, creativity and psychopathology, higher rates of psychosis proneness and non-right-handedness among creative artists compared the same age and gender plans, found that creatives such as painters and musicians were most likely to be left-handers. Another study from 1977, left-handedness among architects, partial replications, and some new data showed that a higher than expected number of architects identified as being lefties. Number 6. Out of the 9 most recent U.S. presidents, 5 of them were left-handed. A much higher than you expected number of recent U.S. presidents were southpaws. Joe Biden, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, George W. Bush. Oh, wait, sorry, hold on. Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and General Ford. Ronald Reagan was left-handed but was forced to write right-handed. General Ford was left-handed but switched back and forth. The ones I listed off were left-handed. So Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, and Gerald Ford. Why did that sound like that? I apologize. Number 7. Are likely to earn more than right-handed people? Depends on who you ask. In a 2006 paper, Handedness and Earnings, it was found that left-handed people, college graduates, went on to earn 15% more than right-handed college graduates. However, in 2014 paper, the wages of sinistrality, I don't know that word, handedness, brain structure, and human capital accumulation, a Harvard professor found that lefties on average earn 10% less 10% less than right-handed people. I guess you should take away from this that you should definitely finish college if it's an option. Number 8, typing advantages. On the QWERTY keyboard, there are over 3,000 English words typed solely with the left hand, whilst only 300 are typed on the right hand alone. Now, let's switch things up and look at some more crazy facts about left-handed people. Some people are scared of left-handedness. Sinistrophobia is defined as the fear of things being on the left side or left-handed people. Oh, that's interesting. I want to learn more about that. Number 2, they adjust to seeing underwater quicker. I was thought I said underwear. Neurologists report that we do indeed seem to adjust to underwater vision more readily than our right-handed friends. They are less able to roll their tongues. In a 1998 study, left-handedness and tongue rolling ability, yes, someone actually did this, it was found that significantly fewer lefties could roll their tongues than righties, which is a 62.8% and a 74.8% respectively. I know I can't. Nails grow faster on your dominant hand. They also grow faster on your largest finger. Probably not the most exciting left-handed statistic, but still pretty cool, which makes sense because my nails grow like super fast. So yeah. Sorry, I'm looking more at sinistrophobia. But how much of a lefty are you? There's a test. Anyways, that is basically it. I hope you all enjoyed I got a couple of other articles I'm going to do too, because there's just a bunch, but I hope you all enjoyed. Comment down below what hand you write with, either left, right, or both if you're ambidextrous, but I hope you all enjoyed. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, also bells, videos which is daily. Love you guys, thanks for everything, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.